What up? It is 4:14 on the clock. Take some time to sit down today. Take some serious time to sit down with self and realize how blessed you are. Take some serious time to sit down and show some gratitude to the universe, to God, to your team, to you, to your shadow. Take some time today. Abundance is coming in the wildest of ways, and it's not monetary, fam. It's not monetary. I want to say the band's getting back together. That's the way that I want to say it. The band's getting back together. I want to say your ancestors are at the forefront right now. I want to tell you that things are falling together for you, even though on the surface they may seem disrupted, disoriented, and they may seem as though they're falling apart. They're not. They're falling together. But they're just falling together in a structure you couldn't even imagine. And I don't know why I keep seeing honeycombs all over the place. Honeycomb, the shape of honeycombs everywhere, that kind of texture. And it just feels like linking up. It feels like linking up. It feels like syncing up. And when you're in this state, I want to call it bliss. When you're in this state of bliss to where you worry about nothing because somebody else can hold your worry. And I know that sounds weird, but it's like because spirit can hold your worry, because God can hold your worry, because the universe can hold your worry for you, because you just don't need that where you're going. And they're talking about getting right with things right now, and it's time to get right with you. It's time to get honest with yourself. It's time to get right with what you have going on right now. Because those of you who are trying to move forward without closing out the past are realizing that it's coming back, and it's coming back full force. But it's not coming back out of anger, and it's not coming back out of hate. It's coming back to be closed out. Because when we don't close out one cycle before starting another, we taint the cycle we're trying to build, we're trying to create, we're trying to whatever with bullshit of the past. And like we say, don't allow your past to bleed into your present, thus project it into your future. That's exactly what they're talking about. And if I want to say count your blessings, but I don't mean it in a negative way, I mean it in a truthful way. Count your blessings. Instead of hitting every red light, did you hit all greens? Did you hit all green lights? Is there nothing stopping you? Instead of paying full price at the pump, did you save money? Instead of paying for groceries, did you find a dollar bill on the way into the store? There's just small blessings. Were you thinking about somebody and somebody called? Were you asking for a break and somebody gave it to you? It's just like this small things. Were you worried about something and all of a sudden, poof, the worry dissolved? It just seems as though abundance is flowing to you in all forms if you have the presence of self to see it. And I know I've been saying it for a while, but they're harping on it right now is the transition. Things are merging together, and I specifically keep seeing three things merged together. And it's like a lateral shift. The merger causes a lateral shift, which then it creates an ascension. And I don't know why that's important, but it really is. And it's talking collectively, and it's metaphorical for the coming together of all things. And that's the way that I want to say it. The coming together of all things, where there's space for all things, where there's balance in all things that helps push the ascension upward. And I don't know if this is just timelines, but it feels bigger than timelines. It feels like the collective. And the collective right now, and I was talking to Keys about this yesterday while I was driving, the collective feels as though a lot of people talk about warriors, and they talk about God's army, and they talk about the chosen, and they talk about the 144,000, and they claim it's people and whatever. And for whatever reason, if you think that you are on the side of the collective that is spiritual warriors, that's the way I want to say it. And it's not meant in a negative connotation. You know, we're chosen because we chose to be here, because we chose to help, because we whatever. So shove off with that. But if you sit in that frequency of knowing that the universe has you, you know, God's on your side, you are protected, your team is here, your ancestors are here, your whatever is here, and they're just talking about if you're on that part of it, a part of the transitioner team, and this is important, and I don't know who needs to hear this, a part of the transitioner team is realizing when to pick up your, I'm going to say flaming sword, when to pick up your flaming sword and run into battle. and when to put it down, and to be like a gardener. And I know it's pulling me back to an old buddy that I used to have, and it's pulling me back to Sun Tzu, and it's pulling me back in a couple different random ways. But they've been talking about it lately, about some of the biggest transcendences that form of the fighting spiritual collective can have, is realizing there's a time and a place to fight, and there's a time and a place for surrender, and there's a time and a place for bliss, and there's a time and a place. And when the transitioners as a collective make the shift and realize that not everything needs to be a fight, not everything is happening to you, but it happens for you in the most beautiful way, because divine timing is super real, and it's evident, and it's present in the present. And it is a gift that is bestowed upon the people who choose to see it that way. They're talking about that being a game changer for transcendence of the collective. So if you feel like you are getting pulled into yourself, you're getting pulled into balance, you're getting pulled into tying up loose ends in order to forge forward without bleed over, then please go do it. Things are coming back in the forefront right now that you aren't being told by Spirit not to ignore. Do not ignore it, for it taints the energy of where you are going. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but you matter. The space you hold matters. The space you take up matters. Your soul matters. Your essence matters. Your energy matters. And when you have lived a lifetime of people telling you you don't matter, or it's not a big deal, or downplaying your situation, your presence, and your energy, the last thing that you want to do is adopt that and start moving as though you don't matter, because you do. You have a piece, and they're calling it a cog on the wheel. You have a piece in a place that you sit on the web of creation. You have a piece in a place that you sit on the cosmic web. And they're asking you to light up. I know this is wild. This is so metaphorically weird. But they're asking you to light up, to align within yourself so that you can align within your place. And when your place aligns, you almost like lead by example and cause a reverberation within the web for others to match that frequency. And that's where everything shifts collectively. That's where everything changes collectively. Take the time to be present in the present right now. Take the time to align your energies. Take the time to close out your cycles. Take the time to no longer have to be haunted by your past. Take the time to sit fully present and connected with all things in the present. Yourself, nature. Oh my God, I'm burping. Excuse me. Yourself, nature, family is huge. Your ancestors are at the forefront right now. Go back into lineage. Pull back into self. Community is erupting right now. If you are in the collective that is shifting back into oneness, community is huge. That means your time alone is done, which means the person you had to be alone is now transcending, is now shifting. You're no longer I, you're we. And they're telling you to accept that very fact. You're no longer I, you are we. The higher mind mergers here. That's the way I want to say it. The unconditional love mergers here. The higher self mergers here. 424 as we end this message. Thank you for being you. Thank you for choosing to be here at this time. Thank you for knowing your worth and unapologetically being authentically balanced enough to shine bright. God, that's so cheesy, guys. That was bad. That was cheesy. I'll see you later, guys.